Not that these people need an introduction, but just to refresh our memories, the one and only Diana Gabaldon. Richard Rankin.
The royal.
Sophie Skelton. Sam Heughan. And Caitriona Balfe. Richard, where's your guitar?
Sorry?
You gonna play a song for us?
Did you see my guitar?
Yeah, you gonna play a song for us?
I don't believe I have a guitar with me, no. I'm sorry.
He broke it.
I broke it.
How beautiful were those new credits? Sam and Caitriona, how does it feel to see your name as producers?
Pretty good, pretty good.
To be honest, I just watching there, there's so many people there. It's amazing. There's the painter's assistant and all these people, and there's so many people that go into making the show. But
I mean, the community that Diana Gabaldon has spawned is, it's amazing.
Has it changed your approach to the show, looking at it on a macro level?
Yeah, definitely. I think, it's an evolution because, obviously we've been at this for 6.5 years, and I think in any job or in any position you want to grow and you want to learn and expand your horizons, and I think it's sort of a natural progression of what we were already sort of doing in many ways, was having more input and ideas and thoughts. And so it sort of made it official, and I think we spent a lot of this year just learning and listening, and hopefully we can just can continue to sort of advance in that way.
yeah, we were given this, these parts, and we're very aware and respectful of our obligation to Diana and to the fans, and I think we are the consistent. We're the consistency in the show. We've had a lot of people come and go, a lot of writers, a lot of the creative people, but we are the people there. So we thank Diana. She's been doing it more than 6.5 years. A little bit.
Speaking of Diana, what did you think of the episode? Did you have any notes for it?
Oh God.
Does Diana have any notes for
Don't be
That's a dangerous question.
How long do we have?
Well, I always have notes, but often this is really great. I loved it, I loved episode 1. I thought that was really great. I enjoyed absolutely everything about it. It was, especially the heretic part.
So sweet.
Yeah, a lot happens as well. I mean, you get time to sit with the family, and you get time to enjoy the wedding and all these moments. But there's so much set up. We get new information as well. Bonnet.
Plot.
That one.
I want to quickly ask, what's everyone's favorite note they received from Diana?
Oh.
Do better comes to mind. Which I have really taken on board and tried to implement. I've yet to have feedback on that, but we'll see.
I think I've seen Diana say, well, after all, Claire's not stupid. Which I love.
I have to say that I think Diana, when she has a note, she doesn't have a note for us. She's very quiet. So when she doesn't say something to you, oh God, all right.
Yeah. What did I do?
It's either really great or there's no hope.
It's no.
Well, it depends. If I think there's a chance in hell of them fixing something, I'll say something.
Do we want to play a little game?
Yes. Oh yeah.
We have whiskey,
Oh.
Yes.
and these people are whiskey experts,
Well.
Oh,
Wow! Look at
God.
this. We
I love
do.
that you just called it whiskey and not scotch.
Oh, God.
Wow. Woo. Oh, thank you.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you to our lovely assistants for bringing that up. There's one for everyone. Wow.
Okay, so here's the game.
You obviously think we're not that entertaining unless we're blind drunk.
You obviously think we haven't already been drinking.
3 games.
What happens in the green room stays in the green room.
I mean, or it doesn't. Sam Heughan.
So, one of these is an Irish whiskey, one of them is a Japanese whiskey, and one of them is a Scotch.
Oh, okay.
And what do we do? Just try them all? Or what?
Everybody's got to sip them all.
Okay. Or
Then
do
you
one
gotta-
at a time? No, we should do them all, shouldn't
Are you cheating?
Was I not supposed to drink it?
I think you can.
Oh, okay. Great. Oh, these are good,
All
actually.
right, I think I know.
Okay.
Do you have something with which I can cleanse my palate?
I know.
What you do is another thing.
Oh, thank you.
They're disgusting. You wouldn't like it.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, I think I've got the Japanese.
Yeah. You're such a cheat.
No
I
idea.
think I have it.
All right.
Are we good? Let's go down the line. Let's start with
Wait, wait.
Diana.
Which one's
Which one's the
Scotch?
Scotch?
I think it's AA myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think A is the Scotch.
Do
Ace.
you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And B's.
Why would you say that?
C's.
Finished yours already?
She's finished all.
Sophie, do you want mine?
I don't have a very sensitive tongue, okay? I have to have a lot.
Wait, let me try again.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Scotch,
Scotch,
Irish,
Irish,
Japanese.
Yeah.
Are we right?
I hope these were labeled properly because the Scotch is B.
Oh, damn it! Irish, Scotch, Japanese.
No, we've been set up. I disagree with
Japanese, Scotch, aren't they?
Yes.
What?
Japanese, Scotch, Irish.
Really?
No, these are the wrong
Ooh,
way around.
Irish
Maybe you
is
guys should
so
try
good.
them all again.
No, it is.
Actually,
No.
ooh.
Yeah.
You all claim to be experts.
Well, we don't.
Your social media would suggest.
Expert alcoholics.
Expert, yeah, drunks, yeah.
Well,
None of them are the Sassenach whiskey, of course.
So?
I mean,
What did you?
shameless plug.
What's that? What is that?
We haven't heard of that. You haven't mentioned it. What's that?
Go on, tell us. No, what
Can you
is
go and
it?
get-
What
I'll
is
go
it?
get a bottle if you want.
we have one more game. Katrina, pick a letter.
F.
Sam, pick a number between 1 and 10.
What? Okay, 1 and 10.
Or 1 in 100.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7!
Sophie, pick a letter.
Oh.
What is this game?
Richard,
What?
pick a number between 100 and 200.
No, I did.
Oh,
20. Do you want another whiskey?
You're supposed to pick the letter. and the number.
I want to say either 106 or 109, but Tony's confused me.
If you are
109, please.
If you are S7 or 0109, you can come pick up an Outlander swag bag after.
What? Oh!
No.
What's in it?
Oh, that I don't know. They wouldn't show
Who
me.
gets it?
What was A?
Oh, look, they're all going to leave now. Rubbish. What a rubbish game.
Maybe we should play a
I
game
don't
of
think they
musical
got a good
chairs.
Japanese. That's
They
what I-
lied to us.
They lied to us.
I think
All
they
right.
lied to us.
Should we talk about the
I think
episode?
it's a bad Japanese.
Do you want to talk about the episode? Awesome. All right. So I'm pretty sure everybody's in agreement that this was the most fun to shoot. Is that correct?
Which, the episode?
Yeah. One you just saw.
No.
Okay. Got it.
That was a very long wedding.
It's the longest wedding.
I think we got
No,
married.
like shooting wise, I think we shot for 7 days. The same
There's a lot.
theme.
Same
footage.
words.
We wanted to
got-
make sure we were really married.
Richard was Jeremiah at one
Properly
point.
married. Huh?
We got married about 500 times, and we'd said our vows so many times that by the end of it, he was calling himself Jeremiah. I was like,
Yeah. And Brianna. I called myself many names.
It's just there's so many people in it. You know, it's such an amazing an event. Everyone's there, and the extended family, and so there's so many people to cover.
There's so much coverage.
Yes, so much coverage. So, and then the poor children in that scene, they weren't that happy about being at a wedding for 7 days. So we had to go back and shoot them again, and they didn't like that either.
I hope you and Richard set a good example for the children on set.
Myself and Richard.
Yeah, best behavior.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
No, you set a good example for the kids on set.
Oh, yes, of course, every day, all the time, yeah.
Never work with children or animals. And
Good thing Outlander has neither
Unless
of
you're on
those.
Outlander and then you do it every day. Children and animals.
Excuse me.
Diana, 6.5 years of this, and we still haven't changed, have we?
Well, you haven't.
Talk rubbish.
Did they get worse?
Maybe.
Have you got worse? Oh my goodness.
The behavior.
Well, they've got better as the scripts have developed because it gives them much more room, to develop the characters, which they've done a fabulous job with. I couldn't be happier with the way you all did things this season. I mean, I've been happy with every season, but this is especially good.
I think this is one of the strongest seasons we've had. Like, I think it's a great season.
Why do you say that?
3 whiskeys in, I feel. I honestly just feel a lot happens. I think that the writing was better this season than maybe possibly last season. I think that the storyline is there's more of an arc, and there's more of me.
I'm sold.
Thanks, pal.
Caitriona, Diana, and Sam, did you feel, either watching the episodes or while you were on set, any sort of callbacks to season 1? I felt a very strong gathering vibe.
No, for sure. And I think actually one thing about this season is that I think we've managed to get back that feeling of each episode having their own flavor and being slightly, their own little contained story and having their own arcs in it.
Like a chapter, yeah.
Yeah, and some episodes almost feel like little genre episodes, and it's kind of nice because I think that's something that was really special about our show in season 1 in particular, that we always had the through line of these stories and these characters, but we sort of took time to make each one feel individual, and that was really interesting. So I think we've definitely gotten back to that.
I think this season as well, we've established Fraser's Ridge, we have an established cast. And so, therefore, people are allowed to do what they do, well, and they have more time to do it. And I just think that we explore these characters more. And I think, season 1, we had a great ensemble. And I think we always have had great ensembles, but it feels this season.
Well, I think season 3 and season 4 were very transitional.
Yeah.
The families were moving and, finding their footing and finding their place. And now it feels almost like it was when we were in Scotland. We're really settled.
Yeah.
And that allows a lot of things to happen around this unit.
Well, they also used a lot more original material from the books.
And to be
Big
honest,
fans, are you?
to be honest, those are the scenes that work. Like
Yeah.
we always feel when we go back to the writing of the original books, like it works. So, yeah.
Well, this is the thing about having Diana involved in the show. When you have one person's voice that is the through line. I mean, everything that we've created came through Diana, and it's when you negate her creation, you miss out on the essence of the story.
All the little nuances. Diana, can we talk about 5'11" a little?
Yeah, if you want.
How was writing that different from, was it 209?
211 was the
211.
other one I
How was
wrote.
it different this time around?
Well, I'd done it before, so I was a little less tentative about what I could and couldn't do. And also, everybody had gotten used to my notes, so I could be fairly uninhibited in what I said about it. But also, I wasn't on set, so I was just seeing things as I saw takes as they were coming. But I was not standing out in Muirhavenside 10 hours a day freezing to death. That always helps. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it a lot. Writing a script is completely different than writing a book. For one thing, it's a much more collective experience because you are not the only one writing that script. I wrote the original script, and then they took it away and messed with it, and it came back, and I said, and I fixed it, and they kept some of my fixes, and then they took it away and said, well, we think we really need to explain this, and I'm going, why? I don't even explain that in the book, and they explained it, and so, it was just this sort of, but that's how it works, it's always an iterative process. There's a lot of other people involved, and it's not just the production people, nor yet our valued producers. I never felt this pushback with you guys, but you get pushback from the people at Stoney and the people at Stars, who are likely to call up and, having not even read the script, say, oh, well, I think we should do this. And you're saying, why? But, well, that's what they want. Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll take it out later. But, so, there's kind of a residue of all these suggestions floating through there. So, there's, I'd say about 80% of what you see in 511 will actually be stuff I wrote.
But I think also, to be totally honest, and I think of all the scripts we had this season, yours was the one that I felt like there were the least notes. Yeah, like we didn't have notes because it was so beautifully formed and it read well.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to show that now, right? 511.
So 511, everybody.
Hooray!
Send your notes to anyone but us.
We're going to ignore the possibility that they were just afraid of me and did not.
They are afraid of you.
Oh,
Honestly, I think we would have said something, and we just blame it on someone else.
I would have blamed Sam.
And I blamed her.
Caitriona, we know Claire wrestles with her abilities this season, her medical training and sort of what 200 years of knowledge, how that weighs on a person. Did you put yourself in Claire's shoes and ask yourself, what would you have done in this situation?
I mean, of course, yeah. It's a real dilemma that she's in, knowing everything that she knows, knowing that if she had certain things in this time, how she could affect change, how she could protect not only her closest family, but the community around her. But it is that, the danger of knowing too much and saying too much and how that can be perceived. So Claire always threads this really fine line of trying to affect change, but without really getting noticed or called out for it. And, it ends up being quite a big storyline this season, as some of you may know from reading the wonderful books. She's not always successful in keeping things,
Never.
She's never successful. But I feel her frustration, or you can understand her frustration, that there's such simple things that we now take so much for granted. Cleanliness and, antibiotics and all of these little things, penicillin, that have changed all of they've changed the world, the medical knowledge around that. And she's really frustrated about not having those tools to her disposal in this time. But it's great. I love the fact that Claire has her surgery now and that we've been able to incorporate more of her medical knowledge, and the fact that she's really content in her marriage and in her family unit, but also in her professional capacity. And that's it just felt really great this season to play her in a really balanced way, because she just feels very content in many ways. I mean, it doesn't last. But there's moments of equilibrium, so it was quite good.
She's not on the edge, whereas she has been past seasons, sort of.
She's been frustrated in past seasons where one side of her life, and I think everybody can relate to that, where one part of your life is doing really well, but the other isn't. You know, it's like either, oh, my career's great, but my love life sucks. Or my love life's amazing, but God, I need that job. You know, whatever. And we can all relate to that. And it's just really nice at this moment that she seems to have it all momentarily
Not for long.
under control.
Sophie and Richard, do Brianna and Roger face any similar scenarios balancing the past?
No, it's all
Got it. Got it.
it's all basically roses and, you know, sweet times ahead for Roger and Bree, right? Nothing bad happens to either of them.
Just stop after episode 1, basically.
Yeah.
No, it's the same sort of thing. You know, they are much more balanced in their relationship now. Obviously, they're raising a child together, and there's a certain security that comes with marriage, and that obviously Roger and Brianna are very good at arguing, and it tears them apart a lot. But I think when you know that you have that marriage and that unity behind you, you're going to stick together, and you're going to work through it in a way that maybe they wouldn't before. But yeah, it's the phrases, so naturally, as soon as things are balanced and happy, they're suddenly not. But it's the same thing, you know, like Caitriona was saying with Claire. Claire's a very modern woman for the 40s, and then she gets thrown back in time, and things that she would use to identify herself in those times, i.e. being a surgeon, she can't execute in the 1800s. And it's the same with Brianna, you know, she was very modern for the 60s. It would be very rare that a young woman of that time was studying engineering at MIT, and then all of a sudden she can't do that. It would be the same issues, you know. She'd be executed if she tried to, I don't know,
Build
engage some
a
of those
machine
things.
thing.
Yes, exactly.
It's interesting that, you know, both women are quite modern, and both of the men in the relationship are quite kind of traditional. And, I mean, Jamie's
For their time.
No, but he's, you know, of their time.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Of their time.
Of their time. And
No,
really
that Jamie's
handsome.
traditional. Of
He's of his time. I mean, he's forward-thinking, of course, but I think, you know, just in relation to Claire, you know, he's, you know, she's leading him, and he's like learning a lot from her, and I think that this is there's a similar situation.
Yeah, but you know, with career women, there's a reason that there's a reason that Brianna and Claire always had somewhat of a, you know, a strained relationship. Claire was a working mother, and I'm sure many women here can relate to the fact that if you are a working mother, seeing your child can prove very difficult. And you know,
But there was
building
the
that relationship
secrets.
together. There was
the
secrets too.
secrets. It wasn't
So many secrets. But now for Brianna, there's almost the opposite side of it. She is now the woman left at home with the child, and actually that's as frustrating too, because she would love to be going out and hunting with the men and being more masculine
And
in
again,
those
it's
times,
the same
and she
situation
can't.
for these two women. They're, you know, they're the modern women that would see more than being, you know, like a housewife, but they don't. They're railing against.
They're restrained by their time.
Silence
They're
the man.
restrained
Don't
by
let
their
him
time.
speak.
They're ahead of it, but they're restrained by the time that they're in. They can
what I'm
only
trying
do
to say.
so much without it being
Silence.
suspicious or, yeah. Not that we are attempting to silence.
No,
But
of course not. Or silence
Diana,
the
I'm really
stupid
sorry.
man.
about that.
What's happening here?
Cheers.
It's okay.
We get bullied all the time. I love you. And, yeah.
Well, that marriage didn't last long, did it?
Sam,
Episode 1 was great while it lasted.
One episode.
Sam, did you put Richard through 18th century boot camp?
Jamie does. Jamie obviously feels that Roger is not quite the man that he would want to be for his daughter. And yes, you know, again, but he has his own qualities, you know, that maybe not suited to this time. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting relationship that we explore this season. That you know, Jamie and Roger are two very different men and with different qualities, and I think there's a really nice coming together of those men. But yes, he will never measure up to be his daughter's.
He will never.
Well, he might.
What can I say?
Well, that was a hell of a lot of trouble for nothing. Last time I saved your ass.
Wait, Brianna's?
No, well, no, that's a
Did everyone do their own stunts?
What?
I'm Sorry, it's just following. Yeah. Yeah. That was, yeah.
Does everyone do their own stunts?
No, because they don't let us. There's this thing called insurance.
Sam broke a nail once, and then we all had to.
No, I think, you know, as I think we all like to do as much as they'll let us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 Insurance is a very powerful thing.
We know Sam suggested Jamie's red coat this season. Caitriona, is there something you advocated for that you can tease?
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if I want to claim ownership. Because if it
I think you should.
inspired,
I think you absolutely should.
well, no, I don't know. I think, I don't know, yeah. There's a lot of things that every day you kind of fight for. And, you know, I think we feel very protective of our characters, and we feel very protective of this story. And sometimes if you feel like it's being pushed in a certain direction, you know, you want to protect that and you want to sort of stop it. But, you know, it's always a negotiation. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the negotiations get more heated than other times. But I don't know, I don't know if there's anything particularly specific.
I think your influence is going to be felt. I think certainly we were late in the process with the producer credit, and we've always kind of been part of the process anyway, in more or less of a degree. But I think this season, as the season goes on, we had more say, and I think by the end of the season, you know, we really fought, or not fought, but we really were very collaborative with the directors and the writers, and we're hoping that, yeah, we haven't seen it, but we hope that it comes across as we felt, because it's some really strong stuff.
I will say, you know, I think as an entire production, we took some real risks this season. As Sam said, we haven't seen them yet, but it feels like, you know, just even the fact that in season 5 you're taking risks is a really great thing. You know, that people aren't resting on their laurels, that people aren't being complacent, and that you're still trying to push the envelope and do something that's interesting and creative. And, you know, hopefully that gets rewarded in the sense that it works and there's a payoff. But, you know, I would rather do that and maybe fail than just churn out the same thing every week or every day, because nobody wants that, right?
Diana, how about you? Was there anything in particular that you can tease that you're either really looking forward to or really wanted to see?
Looking forward to? Yeah, several things. Yeah, I mean, there's some absolutely striking scenes in this, most of which are spoilers, so I can't tell you anything about them. But yeah, it mentioned the red coat and so forth. And when I first heard about that, I was thinking, why would we do this exactly? And then Sam sent me this sort of Instagram-ish photo of him wearing it with a kilt and scribbled in orange hair, and I was thinking, oh, all right.
Perfect.
No, it works, but it works particularly, well, perhaps only, because Sam is the sort of actor that he is, and he's got this face that says, the fact that I can't kill you right now is just eating me alive.
I have to say, his work in that particular episode is really amazing. And I think everyone's going to be really, really chuffed to see it.
It's a great story. Great story. Haven't seen it yet.
Sam, was it emotional putting the kilt back on?
Oh, putting the kilt back on. Yeah, I mean, I think it's something we've all wanted. You know, it's in the books before, you know, but I think, you know, the writers were saving it for this big moment, and, you know, it was long overdue, but I think, yes, it was, and I don't know, it was like it was kind of weird putting it back on, to be honest, because it's something I was doing for a couple of years and then haven't for a long time, so, I mean, I maybe wanted more of an impact. I know you're always, as an actor, thinking, I want more from a situation. But it really does show off, the fact that he's wearing the kilt in the first episode, and then, later on he's wearing a red coat. So it really shows the two loyalties that he has and this sort of dichotomy that he's in.
I think it's really interesting because as immigrants in this place, Jamie is very torn between two lands as well, and he's still got so much Scottishness in him, but there's this real sense of also becoming American and, fighting to make the land that he's in a place that Brianna, in the future, even though she's now there, Diana, how did you make this happen? But it's a really beautiful thing to see. It's like, I think it's a really interesting inner conflict to examine.
It's a land built on ideals, and it's worthy and should be celebrated. Yeah.
And Sam, you've spoken so much about the development that Jamie has had over 5 seasons. I mean, you're taking this man who is leading his family into a new world, but putting him back in the clothes of a young man who ran into this woman in the woods one day.
He's still young. Don't even try to say
You're
he's
ancient.
not.
Right, yeah, I mean...
He's still my toy boy.
That's right. He has his 50th birthday this season.
Woo! Woo!
So I'm expecting a cake.
Rager.
Wait, what? I wasn't invited to that.
You were singing.
You're too busy. Too busy. But yeah, I mean, I think all the characters, we've aged. We've aged. We've aged. But we've taken these characters on a great journey, and Diana is still writing, so we hope to take them further. But this just feels like a really momentous situation.
I'd love to see what Claire and Jamie are going to look like at 80, because if
Tremendous.
I look this good at, on my 50th birthday,
57.
then I'll feel exactly,
Time travel does wonders.
Richard, that scene with Jemmy is so touching. How does Parenthood affect Brianna and Roger this season?
What scene?
Have you watched the episode?
Were you watching?
No, I was drinking. I know what episode.
Who invited him?
Yeah, I mean, Parenthood is a big factor in this season, and family indeed is a big factor, and I think that's something that really brings Roger and Brianna really together this season is Jemmy, and the fact that Roger takes Jemmy on unquestionably, I think that says a lot about him. I think that says a lot about his love for Brianna. I think that says a lot about his love for Jemmy, and that's something that it just really heightens the stakes, I think, for them, but not only for them, but for everyone on the ridge, the children and Jemmy and Sherman and all that, the stakes are quite high. So, and for Roger particularly, who's trying to find his place in the 18th century, he doesn't quite know how he's going to provide for his family, how is he going to keep his family safe, and I think that's one very important factor for both of them is Jemmy, really.
Can I just say that maybe the MVP of the entire season was Robbie, who plays Sherman.
I love Robbie.
He is the greatest kid, and
He's the greatest
he's only
actor.
he's the greatest actor. He's like 5 years old, and he's the heretic line. I mean, he's just amazing. So MVP to Robbie.
And actually seeing him and how he interacts with Cesar and Lauren.
They're like a proper
It's amazing.
They're like a family.
It's
And they're
amazing.
literally like, we're doing a take and they're off over there, like
Messing up the take because they're making
rolling
so much
over in
noise.
the grass and sleeping. And
Although I did love that bit. So during the wedding, our director, Stephen, was saying to Robbie, it was his shot, and he's like, Robbie, can you just take your hand down because you're covering your face? And he's like, no, it's sunny, no.
Method.
Fair play, dude.
This is what I would do.
Yeah.
Who's a bigger diva, Robbie or Richard?
You're joking?
What? What?
Never mind, you just drink your drink.
actually, the biggest diva is probably one of the other kids. Well,
Andrew and
either Matthew or Andrew.
and or Matthew or the others.
Oh, they're so sweet.
Like, I'm just doing one acting today and then I'm going home.
But they take blueberries for acting power, which I think's great. I must try that.
But it's also like sometimes in between takes you're trying to keep them entertained, and we were like playing X and O's in the dirt because you're in the middle of nowhere and there's not much to do. And then they were like, all right, we're going to go back. And he's like, no, I'm very busy. I'm not going back.
So we've seen.
Wait, so what was in this?
What was it?
Talk to stars. I didn't even drink mine.
I obviously did.
Pass them down. Anybody want more? So obviously, Claire and Jamie's world has expanded enormously over the past 5 seasons. We're seeing new additions in tonight's episode, Josiah. Is there an initiation process involved bringing new people onto Outlander?
Oh, there should be.
God, we've really missed a trick.
I know.
Yeah, we should have, shouldn't we? Yeah.
We kind of had a bit of an initiation. I was telling the story before. You did steal our snacks. A little bit.
That's not enough.
To fend for ourselves.
Well, to be honest, there weren't many snacks in the first place.
It's true.
But
No,
we
we're
should.
very welcoming.
We should.
I mean,
recommend
I think people forget that when you're shooting, it's a really busy day. So you're like always, you kind of miss
People are
people,
coming and going
and
and-
you're being shepherded here and there. So the time for
It's always interesting when we are having kind of fun and you look at the crew and they're all like, can you
like,
go over there
shut
now,
up
please?
and get on with work.
So you're always aware that we just have to make our days, and they are busy days.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is the
you don't even get to say bye to some people, you know, because people are just on and off all the time. And yeah, it's so busy that sometimes people have gone back to the other side of the world and you're like, oh, see you when we do press. See you soon. But yeah.
This is the first episode the 4 of you appear in a scene together. Is that right?
So we
I
discovered
didn't
today.
realize that, yeah.
None of us realized that until.
And I think that's why the wedding felt so magical, because we never do scenes with all of us together. You know, Jocasta's there, you've got Lizzie, you've got Marcy and Fergus. There's so many characters in one room that
John Gray.
it was kind of like a little party.
It was, and you know, we said it earlier, we were kind of joking around, but we did spend about 7 days shooting all of that. And it was really, really nice. I mean, I think it was at the very beginning of the season, and I think maybe that's also why this season felt so good filming it, because we all bonded right at the beginning, which I think we haven't had that kind of everyone together since like a couple of seasons ago, and it was just really nice, you know, it was, everyone sort of got to know each other really well, and then, you know, that's continued through the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So we opened with the flashback scene tonight, which is interesting. We don't see those too often on Outlander. Can you talk through the process of choosing to tell the story through scenes like that?
Are you talking about Jamie and Murta?
Young Jamie and young.
Obviously,
That wasn't Sam, you know.
getting
that.
into character was pretty tough.
That's Jamie on his
I think
60th
He
I-
plays
birthday.
old really
That
well,
Irishman
but
technology.
It's just how he manages to make himself so small
I know.
with
Yet
just
strong.
his acting. And yet his hair stayed so
Perfect.
big.
It's kind of perfect hair, isn't it?
I feel like you straightened it a bit
Continuity
too.
there. Yeah.
I'm amazed.
I'm amazed. We hope there are more flashbacks, and there may be. What do you think, Diana? Throwing that one out to you.
Oh, well, hey. I haven't stopped writing yet, so we'll see what we
Good.
can do.
Okay.
We're going to throw it to audience questions in a second, but Diana, any closing thoughts on season 5 or any hints to look out for this season?
Ooh, goodness. Well, there's all kinds of things you could look out for, but I'm not allowed to tell you about any of them. But I don't think you'll miss any of them either, because they're really well done and they really stick out. It's one of the things that I've noticed in this season particularly, aside from, the splendid acting by all individually, is just how good the inter-actor acting is. have just absolutely marvelous seasons between Rick and Sophie, for instance, and Sophie and Sam, particularly in 511. There's this one very tender scene, which is just fabulous. You both did it wonderfully. Yeah. But all in all, all of you work like, moving parts. It all works. It's a good machine.
Oh,
Thank you, Diana.
that's all we cared about.
Our first
Is he here?
He's got good taste.
Our first audience question is about cheer.
Jerry.
Wait, did that come in today, or was that a pre-existing question? No, just because, yeah.
In reference to cheer, how would you Matt talk your co-stars?
Go, Cat.
Sam!
Go, Cat. Go, Cat. Go.
Sophie! Go, Sophie!
Oh,
Go,
God.
Sophie!
I'm sorry, we couldn't see that from over here. Can you just stand up and do
No.
that again?
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
We should
My
try
mic's
it.
sitting here.
They won't allow us, will they?
See, I still haven't seen it, but all I've heard is like, Jay is so amazing.
No, come on. Who's seen Cheer? You want to see what hard work and dedication and tenacity does.
It's not like us.
Cheer.
I'd say let's put Jerry on Outlander, but let's just put the two of you on cheer.
Yes. Although I
Or your
really
stunt
would
doubles.
suck at anything in cheer. I'll be like a Matt cheer person.
Oh, you're not gonna make that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but you will always be there for everyone else. That's all that
I
matters.
really wish I understood this lingo.
Sorry, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay, Rachel wants to know, if given the opportunity to film somewhere other than Bonnie, Scotland, where would be your dream location?
I have 12.
List them out.
Well, I'd say wherever there's sunshine, but when we came into the show, not that we can really complain, because these guys had already done 3 years of hard work.
No, we can't.
But all we
complain.
heard was, South Africa was so amazing. Do you remember when we were just sat having
South
wine on the
Africa?
beach,
was
and then
so
just like did a scene?
We have heard a lot about South Africa.
We could talk about Prague if you want.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, go ahead.
While we're literally shaking in our boots in the mud. I'm like, oh, that beach. was
Let's go back to South Africa.
Yeah, we should, shouldn't we?
Please may we come this
Little flashback to the Caribbean on the beach.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're not there.
you're producers
What?
now, so, you know.
Yeah, you make those decisions.
Yeah,
We do, yeah. We do.
go.
Let's make a phone call.
Roger is least prepared for life in the 18th century.
Least prepared.
Do you need hearing?
What?
You hear me okay?
What?
Which of you would be best and worst suited for the 1700s?
Diana probably best suited.
Yeah, right?
That would, yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Researched it most.
Diana would have a small settlement established within about a week.
I don't know. I think we'd
we're
all
pretty
I'd be
fare
pretty
pretty
crap, to
well.
be honest.
I would do all right.
Yeah, I'd be rubbish.
Actually, he'd be terrible. There wouldn't be any gyms.
We'd make a gym out of some branches, some trees,
We'd
some
walk out the
boulders.
front door and find him lifting pigs.
A lot of pigs in that time, right?
We have a pig on set.
Why pigs?
I don't know, they're heavy.
No logs. Let's move.
Rocks,
You
maybe.
know.
Move on. Let's.
Was there a scene you could not complete due to a severe case of the giggles? If so, which scene?
Yes, the scene where Brianna gets a certain letter and there's someone at the head of the table, a certain character that I don't know if I'm allowed to say that they're in it. But Brianna's next to you and you're on the other side of the table and you two just giggled the whole time. And then there was one take. We did about 20 takes of these guys
did
giggling,
not.
right? You did. And then there was one tiny
We're
take where I
producers now.
giggled.
We don't
We would never
We
do a
don't-
thing like that.
sack her.
There was one take. Then there was one tiny take where I giggled on my own coverage, so it was fine, and Sam turned to me and went, "Stop laughing." I was like, dude, we've been here for 20 minutes.
I have to say, Sam has the best ability
Contagious
to set
laughter.
somebody else off,
Oh, that's not true.
but then keep himself controlled.
Yeah. And then blame Caitriona for the
And then
whole
blame me,
thing.
because he'll do something that'll set me right off, and then he'll go, and then just give a perfect take.
And then I'm like, "Caitriona, stop it."
And then you turn around and like back to the camera.
I'm terrible.
Dirty tricks.
I corpse all the time.
Actually, do you know what the one on, oh, I can't say that.
There's a
On a
beach.
beach, and do you remember when you had to, and you just got the giggles every take, and we were meant to be hugging, and you were just like, you wouldn't let go.
I was just really cold.
This is for Diana from an ER nurse in Philly. It's so awesome to see intelligent women in the show. What made you want to make Claire a doctor?
Basically, she was a doctor. To start with, I had this English woman. First, I had the man in the kilt, and then on the third day, I said, well, I must have a lot of men because of the kilt factor, but it would be nice if I had a woman to play off these guys, and we'd have sexual tension. That's good. And so having done 3 days of research so far on the Jacobites, I said, well, Scots versus English, if I make her an English woman, we will have lots of tension. So third day of writing, I introduced this woman, no idea who she was, except she was an English woman. And I loosed her into a cottage full of Scotsmen wearing kilts to see what she would do. And that was Claire. Anyway, she lasted 1 page before she started talking like a modern woman. And I said, you don't sound at all like an 18th century person. You know, obviously you came from somewhere else. And, you know, mind you, this was the third day of writing on my very first book, which I was writing for practice and never going to show to anyone. So I said, well, you know, it doesn't really matter what bizarre thing I do. No one's ever going to see this. So go ahead and be modern. I'll figure out how you got there later. So that's why she's a time traveler, and that's why there's time travel in the books. But having decided that, I had to... So, you know, it's all her fault. But having decided that, I had to decide where did she come from, who is she, and so forth. And it was a long process of thinking, but, you know, I started with, if I were a time traveler and was decanted suddenly into this place, what kind of skills would I want to have? And I said, well, I think I'd like something in the medical line so I'd have a better chance of staying alive. And so I was thinking, well, maybe she's a doctor. And then I thought, no, she doesn't sound modern enough for modern medicine. And eventually I came to the conclusion that she had come out of World War II, and therefore she was a combat nurse. And so that's where we began. But of course, when she went back, you know, then it was reasonable for her to resume her medical career and study more and become a doctor. So, you know, it was all just, well, it's all her fault. You know?
Sam, Caitriona, Sophie, and Richard,
What?
are there any lessons you learned from your characters that you applied to your own life?
Ooh.
Infinite patience, charisma, intelligence, determination, passion, good looks.
Sophie, don't you just wear your character's costume?
All right. All right. Can we all please just note he's waiting an hour to tell that joke?
And he practiced
Waiting all
5
night.
times.
I would stand up, but there's a mic here. But Sam has decided that I'm wearing part of
her
it mine
costume.
or Jamie's? Because I can't decide.
Well, never mind. I thought it was funny, mate.
He's just jealous.
So mean.
You know what? Maybe you could have learned fashion from Jamie, all right?
No. No.
Last question is for Richard. Can you give us an encore of LOVE?
Fuck off. No.
Come on.
I don't have a guitar.
You got it in there.
Wait, well,
I don't know the words. I actually don't know the words.
L-O-V-E, she
Spells
just
it
told you
for
them.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anything that you making something loud.
Thanks for that.
Anytime. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Outlander returns on Sunday on Stars. Woo!